Hey everyone, my name is Taps and happy Mother's Day to all the mothers out there. Today I'd like to show exactly why I believe Ecomi and Veve already have the Pokemon license and roughly when it makes sense for them to reveal this. If you're new to the channel, welcome to the community and feel free to subscribe. I'm a crypto stock and real estate investor, but never a financial advisor. I'm normally not one for speculation. I'm a fundamentalist at heart, and I'm a big believer of seeing is believing. But I've followed a lot of breadcrumbs and gone down a lot of rabbit holes that have led me to believe that within a shadow of a doubt, that Ecomi and Veve already have the Pokemon licensing, and it's just a matter of when it's going to be announced. To start off, I'd like to show you a video that Crypto Crayons actually did that helped me connect the dots. If you haven't seen his videos, they're awesome. Go sub his channel if you're a fan of OMI and Veve, and I'll put a link to his channel down below, but I want to play this video and then kind of describe a little bit more into it.
And so in the beginning and up till a couple of weeks ago, our pricing had been a little bit random, but we have just recently, with the help of honestly, one of the coolest guys on the planet, a guy called Jeremy Padawer, who's come in. He used to own a huge toy company and really knows a lot about how to deliver, collectible models.
And this is who he's talking about, Jeremy Padawer. Jeremy Padawer was former president and partner of Wicked Cool Toys. This is May 8th, 2017. The Pokemon Company International names Wicked Cool Toys as master toy licensee and current partner at Jazzwares. Former president at Wicked Cool Toys because Wicked Cool Toys went underneath the umbrella of Jazzwares. These guys are merging to create something colossal.
So now we have Pokemon, Roblox, Fortnite, etc., etc., etc. It's just a juggernaut.
A lot of brands.
Wicked Cool Toys will have the rights to manufacture and market action figures, play sets, plush, role-play items, and other toys based on the hit Pokemon animated series in worldwide market. Everything that we just went through, you can now see it all coming together. Building on its mission to bring the best Pokemon experience to fans around the world, the Pokemon Company International announced the appointment of Wicked Cool Toys as master toy licensee for the global popular Pokemon brand starting in July 2018. They go and get this other collector that already has access to the Pokemon IP. So you have Toy Tokyo, you have David Yu, and his history at Games R Us and GRU Distributions and their relationships to Pokemon and their relationships with Alfred Kahn in relation to
Kahn.
IPs and branding and licensing. If you take all of these things and then you still ask them, will they get Pokemon?
So this got me really excited, but I don't believe anything initially from a video until I've done my own due diligence to make sure that the information is accurate. So I dug into what Crypto Crayons said about Jamie Padawer, and the info is correct. So I found him on LinkedIn and I looked very much into what Jazzwares is, what Wicked Cool Toys is or was, and how they're related. And he is for sure, in fact, a big tie into this organization. And then what I did was I actually then went a little bit creepy stalkerish, at least business creepy, and clicked into his recent activity. So when I clicked into CL activity, I see there's some talk about like Harry Potter stuff. Go down, go down, go down. And the first thing that jumped out was this piece, which is the Jazzwares were the new Marvel costumes partner. So they have some kind of licensing going on with Marvel. Jazzwares makes play for North American costume sector with the multi-year Marvel partnership. So again, Marvel hasn't been released yet, but we've seen a number of things that have led us to believe that that is coming, including this logo, which again, it shows brands and it looks very much like the Marvel logo. And this same logo was actually behind Dan's head during the last NFT summit that we saw. So we're pretty positive we have it, but I actually do think that Marvel's probably going to be the next major license that's announced, probably the start of season 2. So when I kept scrolling down on his activity, I actually saw just a few weeks before that where was it? Jeremy Padawer likes Kahn saying the introduction of the Veve beta app reminds me of some initial results when we started testing products such as Pokemon and CPK. And you know what happened to them? Jeremy Padawer liked that LinkedIn post that Kahn put on about a month ago. So I'm connecting dots, right? And Kahn, as we know, is the global head of licensing for Ecomi and is the man who's responsible for bringing Pokemon and Yu-Gi-Oh to the US. So a little bit about him in case you aren't familiar with him. He's responsible for hits in licensing, including Cabbage Patch Kids, Pokemon, Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, Yu-Gi-Oh! He's also known for iconic brands such as Nintendo, Mario Bros, Zelda, Donkey Kong, James Bond, WWF, WCW, Xbox, Polly Pocket. I mean, this guy's resume is long and impressive. So a lot of different people who have a background of working with Pokemon who are directly now involved in Ecomi Veve. It just seems like there's a little bit too much going on here, but let's go another layer deeper. Another piece that I want to go into is what Veve just did on that recent announcement on April 30th. So a little over a week ago, they said that they're continuing with their growth strategy by working directly with Rogers and Cowan PMK. Now, Rogers and Cowan PMK are one of the largest agencies in the US. So this is actually a great article as well. It shows they are named to Forbes 2021 list of America's best PR agencies. So I imagine hiring them had a relatively big price tag. So why would Ecomi and Veve at this stage hire one of the #1 PR agencies that probably has one of the largest price tags to it right now? I imagine it's because they need a strategy of when they're going to actually announce these pieces, which are those large licenses like Marvel and Pokemon, but also, again, help them on, okay, like how can we make sure that we don't just dump all the news of like, hey, we have all these licenses and then it fizzles out. Instead, let out little pieces bit by bit to keep the momentum of that hype continuing. And I think that's why that they just announced like, hey, we have this big PR firm that we just hired and we're gonna let you all know. So that way they're gonna help them determine when it's time to give the big news. And I think it's gonna be season by season. We saw a lot of big news come out this past season, which is the end of season 1 just happened or is just happening. And I think they're going to kick season 2 off a bang. And I believe it's going to be Marvel. But they could end the season or start the next season 3 with another big announcement. I mean, if it was your company, would you just list every license and everything that's upcoming, or would you do it piece by piece? You would do it piece by piece because, again, you want to build that momentum until that time. Now, what I thought about was looking at who they've already had. Like, how hard is it to actually get the Pokemon licensing? So when we look at the top 150 global licensors of 2020, and this came out in August of 2020, so it is probably shifted around a little bit. For the most part, the regular players are roughly within like the 1 to 15 range. So when we look at these, we can see the Walt Disney Company. So we know that they don't have Disney yet, but we do know that Disney owns Marvel. So if they announce Marvel, there's a good chance that Disney's all tied with it as well, which, I mean, them announcing Disney or even going down that path for NFTs would be absolutely insane. And I think they would go Marvel first and then go into Disney. But again, if they have Marvel, then they probably have Disney as well. Meredith Corporation, Authentic Brands. So Warner Media. So Warner Media, Warner Bros. We can see that they already, and this came out February of 20, so a Veve Global license announcement. So we see all of the different licenses that they have. Warner Bros. So looking at Warner Bros. Is the #4 with 11 billion on the top 150 global licensors. So they have Warner Bros., right? Universal Brand Development. Let's hop back over. We can see Universal is Jurassic Park, which we know that they have as well. This piece was put out March 1st. So again, we have Universal, Hasbro. Now, I don't think they've actually come out and said that they have Hasbro, but guess what? Hasbro, and this came out August 21st, 2019, so I imagine nothing's changed, but I wasn't able to find anything that was sooner updated. But Hasbro named Master Toy licensee for Ghostbusters. That is a big piece. So I imagine, again, all of it's speculation, but I'm trying to connect the dots here, that they also have Hasbro. Viacom CBS at number 8. CBS, we know that they have based on Star Trek, CBS. Next Generation, we already seen it. Those are coming out with the Starship Enterprise that was shown. And then let's continue down the list. GM, we already know that they have General Motors. That came out with the drop of the DeLorean. So we know that GM is already locked down at number 9. And Sanrio, which is like Hello Kitty, that'll be amazing when and if they announce that, because it is number 10. But so looking at this, out of the top 10, they have 5 out of the 10. They have 1/2 of the top 10 licensors in the top 150. So Pokemon didn't show up on here, right? And that's because Pokemon, and this is actually a much older piece. I think this was like 2018, 2019. So it may have shifted up, and it probably has, but Pokemon at this time, I think this is 2018 or again 2019, Pokemon was number 23. But I know to date, they're still not in the top 10. So Pokemon is a massive, massive brand. And it is absolutely, in terms of worldwide known, massive. But if you have 1/2 of the top 10 licensors in the world, do you really think that you're having issues chasing down a bunch of these other licensors? And when they mention they have 100 licenses on deck, I mean, I'm a strong believer that Pokemon is one of them. And again, it's just a strategy of when to release that information, because they know it's going to go to the moon when that happens. And David Yu has already had a relationship with Pokemon. Al Kahn's had a relationship, or is responsible for bringing Pokemon to the US. I mean, they have multiple years of relationship with these licensors, and Jeremy Padawer being in the mix just, again, galvanizes my conviction that this is for sure happening. What's cool is we can even speculate on who they could have coming in between or even later than too, because there's some really big names here that are not even in the top 10. So we have like Mattel, Ford. We saw NFLPA, which was number 37 back at this time. They already have NFLPA. NFL is a number 16 at this time. WWE with Activision Blizzard, with Volkswagen, Minor League Baseball, Major League Baseball. I mean, there's so many different brands in here, but again, there is a lot to dive in through here. So while Pokemon isn't in the top 10, it will bring a ton of users and mass awareness with the augmented reality feature, right? Like that was the first that we really got a look into, like this gaming meets real life back in 2016 with Pokemon Go. So while it won't quite be Pokemon Go yet, I mean, like that's probably in the future with the Veveverse that they've hinted a lot at, but it does have that element to it. And we really haven't had a whole lot of things that really overlap well since that time in 2016 in terms of and what meets real life, in gaming. So I think NFTs are a smart play for this. So, and what's cool about that too is let's look at the numbers of what happened with Pokemon Go. So Pokemon Go, at the height of it in 2016, in July 12th, was 21 million active users. 21 million active users. I had to repeat that because that's insane. So that just shows you how large of a user base can happen when you meet Pokemon in augmented reality. Now, that was really before anything NFT. So now you have an entire crypto-based population who's joining into that hype and promoting it. So Pokemon will be absolutely massive when they get to it. And if you're like, okay, well, Pokemon Go happened a long time ago. Pokemon Go via iPhone in selected countries in January 2021. This is still the user base. It's still over around 1.5 million users today. So again, a lot of active users for the platform. Pokemon brings a lot to it, and I think this is all just a part of a growth strategy. So the only thing I can really compare this to is like building momentum for a new product launch, which you plan it, which they've been planning this since 2017. Again, this is a marathon, guys, not a sprint. Have clear positioning and messaging. I think that is the hardest piece because NFTs have been so nascent. So this is one thing that they're trying to broaden. Like they've said multiple times, like Veve is not a crypto company. Even though there is the OMI token crypto tied to it, they are trying to meet mass audience, mass adoption. So having clear positioning and messaging on what an NFT is and how it's a digital collectible that you can project into real life via augmented reality is a hard messaging statement for a lot of people who are out of the know. So that is the big piece that I think that they're trying to work on, get influencers on board. They've started working with like the crypto side, but again, we'll see a lot more with the PR agency that they just took on. Email marketing, I almost feel like they don't need it right now because there is so much built onto it, but at the same time, that's a pretty easy piece. Ramp up SEO, so search engine optimization. In my interview with Reese, he did say something around how the lines like they know what people are searching for, they know what people are actively looking for in this space. So I do believe that they are already working with a couple different SEO programs. Use social networks. I mean, the community built around Ecomi has been amazing on Twitter and on Telegram. It's been absolutely stellar. And then consider advertising. That was a question that I asked Reese in my interview, in which he did say they do have a marketing plan and will be building that out over the next couple months, I believe. And they, again, have that PR agency. So there's a lot of pieces. They're doing all of this right. But again, like as a crypto community, we want answers now. And that's the thing is they're doing everything as fast as they can, and they're giving us more visibility than most other crypto projects do. So hats off to them on that. That's the key is, so Wen Pokemon, right? Just to reiterate what I said earlier, I believe they'll be announcing it. They could announce it the start of season 2, which could be in 2 weeks or so. But I think that'll probably be Marvel, because Marvel will have a huge calling to it, but it will also tie better to what has already happened with like Ultraman and Batman and all that. And I think Pokemon will be the game changer that really, really spreads mass adoption. And they really want to make sure they have all of the functionality down, all the foundation really nailed down. So if it happens, then probably like the season 3, probably like 2 million users around there. So it's just a matter of time before Pokemon is revealed from Ecomi and Veve. Do you believe that Ecomi and Veve already have the Pokemon licensing? And what other licensing do you think are on the horizon? We saw that long list, so the sky's the limit really for them in terms of speculation, because they've already secured, again, 5 out of the 10, 1/2 of the top 10 licensors in the world. Let me know your thoughts in the comments below. If you found value in my research, please hit the like button so others can see this content, and the subscribe button and notification bell for future content. That's it for today. I'm Taps. Thank you for your time and happy trading.